AI vibe coding is something that's becoming so out of hand that it's driving me actually insane. Let me explain. Before I get too much into this dissertation, I should probably explain what vibe coding even is. In software development, programmers study, practice, and write code by hand to make apps. They dedicate their lives to this craft, and it takes years to master. This is now known as traditional coding, or trad coding, which is crazy we even have a term for this now. Vibe coding, on the other hand, is software development using AI where someone describes a project or task in a prompt to AI. AI then generates the code for you. Vibe coding involves accepting AI-generated code without thorough review, instead relying blindly on what AI generates. And that is a major problem. Here is an example. Look at this thing that I made. Isn't it cute? This is a prop that I made for Basis VR that clones your avatar. You can hold it, you can scale it, you can throw it, you can kick it. I wanted to make this thing, but I had a problem. I'm a DevOps engineer, which means I do code sometimes, but it's not my primary job. Furthermore, I have no experience in game development. Wanting to make this clone prop, I opened up Unity and Writer and was like, okay, where do I begin? Even with coding fundamentals and some experience, I was starting from nothing. I didn't want to learn the ins and outs of Unity. Hell, I didn't even want to learn game development. I just wanted to make this thing. So like everybody does these days, I pulled out Claude Code and I said, hey, Claude Code, make this thing. I vibe coded. And 100,000 tokens later, Claude made it. And I loaded it into Unity Editor and spawned it and proudly showed it off. I shared it with some friends, however I got a screenshot back and they were like, hey, take a look at this. This thing is consuming 9 milliseconds per frame at runtime. And my first question was, is that bad? I was completely over my head. I was now on the hook to optimize the abomination that I had just made. But I couldn't, because I had no fucking idea what I was doing. No matter how beautifully crafted of a prompt I could feed into every AI tool on the planet, this was just not solvable. I was looking at the source code and was like, cool, this is C# code, but I have no clue how the Unity API works. Update loops, what are those? This is the trap of vibe coding. These AI generation tools will produce something that kind of works, but if the circumstances are correct, it will produce very convincing garbage. If you blindly use AI-generated code, this will inevitably happen to you. Now, my silly little clone project ultimately resulted in no consequences, but there are countless stories where people created unchecked vibe-coded projects that handle really important sensitive things like usernames, passwords, email addresses, Discord accounts, etc. They inevitably get hacked and result in a massive data leak. This is a real trend. Don't let this happen to you. If you use AI to write code for you, but you don't understand the code that it's writing and you use it anyways, that's vibe coding. Please don't vibe code. I messed up by doing it once. I'm not doing it again. I'm currently in a workplace in corporate America where they are currently gobbling up vibe code workflows and they're passing it off with fancy terms like the agentic workflow. They're crediting it for increasing productivity and quality of software projects. The reason why they're doing this is because it appears to be breaking through the infamous good, fast, cheap barrier where they can have all three instead of just two. Reality is they're only getting one, and that is fast. AI tokens, they're expensive, and the output is questionable. I'm currently at the front lines of this AI revolution, and boss, I'm tired. Day after day, my coworkers and I are getting impossible expectations from upper management, and my job has pivoted from looking at code changes with same timelines to trying to decipher AI slop gibberish and hoping that it's doing the right thing. This kind of depresses me because there's genuinely nothing wrong with this tech. It's actually pretty cool. The fact that you could ask a prompt a normal human worded question and it just answers it is really neat. The problem is that the tech is being abused to a perverse level. Absurd amounts of money is being put into it. There's no forward thinking about the repercussions of what this is doing to our economy and environment because it's just such a gold rush right now. I know software devs that are out of the job because of this tech, and AI execs are becoming billionaires overnight. And end users, people are abusing this as well. So many people fall for the trap of vibe coding, and I even did it. Learning how to code is a craft, and you don't learn it overnight. It's a painful process, and AI sells itself as a cheat code for actually learning how to code. AI can generate thousands of lines of code in a matter of minutes that appear to work, and it may. But if you don't fully read and comprehend every single line that it wrote, you are heading for a painful path in acquiring something called cognitive debt, which give that a Google search. It's kind of a depressing topic. Now, in this video, I'm talking about AI for code generation. I'm not talking about using AI for art and like music generation. I'm not qualified to talk about those topics at all, but I will just say on a personal level, I am kind of tired of AI generated art and music. Even though I just spent this entire video slamming AI, I do think it still has a purpose and it can be extremely helpful. If you already have a fundamental understanding of the topic at hand and you use AI for small, sane tasks and fully vet and comprehend the output, I don't see an issue with that. But that's not vibe coding. That's just adding another tool to your workflow. Intent is so important here. What are you using AI for? Now for this vibe coded mess. What's the deal with it? Originally, I was going to throw it away because this was a lesson learned for me. My conscience wouldn't let me publish this and pass it off as acceptable work. It was simply bad. However, the Basis community stepped up and fixed it for me. Even though this thing is on my GitHub and I'm technically the maintainer, the subject matter experts made this prop, not me. The only thing I can take credit for was the idea, and ideas are cheap. I don't know game development. I don't know Unity. I have the desire to do more with it, but that means I need to pull out tutorials and learn the hard way. If I ever want to try making anything again, I'm going to step back, learn the basics of Unity and game development. That way, when I make something, it's actually good and not a liability. If you're interested in making software but have no programming experience, you have to do it the hard way first. You have to study. You need to practice. Vibe coding is a shortcut, and there are no shortcuts in life. Learning something from nothing is a painful endeavor, but you're mastering a craft that many can do in the process, and that makes you valuable. Stop using AI and learn how to code.